Hello, PPP. Una says hi. I love you too. Look, Una, there you are. They're sick sometimes. Mr. Pones, good evening, sir. See if the C64 is going to turn on today.
In a world of fun and fantasy and ever-changing views and computer terminology, Commodore is news. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. In a world of high technology and ever-changing moods, in a world that's full of make-believe and changing attitudes, are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore.
Very good. We at least have that working tonight. Unlike many other things around here, Luna, do not sit on that. Eesh. Trying to get some things We're down a computer tonight, so I'm trying to work around that as best as I can. Seeing how that's going to play out. Bear with me here a little bit. All right, start it off. We'll fix some stuff. 5. Good evening, Tower. It's going somewhat slowly. Oh, geez, can I stop that? Can I get this working? Oh, boy. Okay, does this work? That doesn't work. That didn't work. I was trying to be sneaky. Can I be sneaky still? Let's see. That's not working. That's not so good. Well, hold on here. What about... No, that's not working. Hold on. Hold on. No. What's this? No, that's not working. Well. Well. Nothing working today. That's not working. What is going to work today? I can't even remote into the Pi to tell it to boot the agent. We're down a PC that I usually use for all the remote controlling. And that PC might be toast, so I might spend the better part of my weekend rebuilding that PC, which is my main driver, my daily main driver. And so that's going to be a rough weekend in between working. So that's not going to be very fun. I'm going to see if I can directly connect a keyboard into it. And can I type? Can I type? Can I type anything? Holy crap, I can type stuff. All right, I don't know how well this will work, but let's see. Demo Launcher Agent Python. All right. Luna's going to let me type, maybe. A little bit. She doesn't help either. She's really not helpful. Source. Then activate. Demo Launcher Agent. All right, so the agent is now working. Agent is registered. Luna, get out of there. Stop eating that. All right, so where do I put you? Do I put you up here for now? In case I've got to restart, let's put you up here. Let's just sit you on top of that. All right. Yeah, it's not looking terribly great. We've got Triple F. We've got one keyboard sitting on top of another keyboard because that one's not working, and that's connected to a machine that's not working, and yeah, one of those days. End of line. Now, Triple F, you should be able to send as long of a text as you want to. That should be fixed now. We'll see.
I cook with it, steam with it, educate the team with it. My Commodore.
Been a week, man.
I pitch with it, catch with it, count my chicks before they hatch with it. My Commodore 64. That's right. My Sid chips singing got that big to glow. 64K, it's all
at least that's working.
With one
and we're back on the C64 Ultimate.
Electrons flow, but my 1541 so gosh darn slow.
So we do have that working again. I put that back on. I've got a limit on the check-in. We should not get any more corruption with the memory overflow. But the week has been long, and be working this weekend. So at least, the nice thing is, at least when you have to work on the weekend, at least in my line of work, I can do it here, right? I don't have to go into the office. And I can take breaks as I want to and work at my own pace. But hey, Adam, how's the Retrofest? Most of that was today, right? Good evening from West Virginia. I wasn't sure. I was not expecting to see you tonight, but I hope the festival's going well. Talk with the amigos, podcasters, and whatnot. Good evening. Hope you're having a good time, sir. Yeah. So this week was like, I've got one computer upstairs, which is a one that I usually remote into when I want to. If I do work, that thing's done. God damn it, get out of here. Sorry, she's biting. It'll be today and Saturday. It's going well. Excellent. Very good. Very good. What do you want? Why are you biting? You are very ornery. Very screamy. What's up? Not giving you enough attentions? I know. Sorry about that. The bite I was not expecting. It's love bites, right? But when you get bit, you're like, oh, God damn it. So she's just ornery. She just needs attention. She gets very bitey and clawy, and then when she gets your hand next to her, she bites down and then licks a lot. That's pretty much her aggressive cuddling. She does aggressive cuddles. So yeah, the computer upstairs, that thing's dying. I think that's an SSD issue. I think the drive on there is toast. So yeah, I'll just go out and buy another SSD. They're cheap, perfectly legit. I've got some old backups and things like that. It's really a machine that sits there and remotes most of the time, so the PC itself isn't that big of a deal. I've also got a smaller little NUC computer downstairs I can bring up. But then my main daily driver decided when I restarted it today, it went into a auto repair mode. Don't know why. So that has basically all the stream control and everything like that connected to it. So that was really the big driver to control all the stream stuff. It's not the machine I stream from, it's the machine I control it from. So that thing is currently trying to do restore point, because it picked a restore point from about noon today. Okay, we'll try to restore from that. It's been sitting at 16% for about 2.5 hours now. No idea if it's going to get any farther. I'll see what it's like after the stream, I guess. But that also means, that's the driver with Dune and things like that, right? So I got to get that if the restore from the checkpoint doesn't work, I've got to reinstall Windows on the machine. And that's the big machine, right? That's my main PC. So that's just like a headache waiting to happen. And until then, I won't be able to do any Dune with Pops. So it's just been, all things considered, we're good, right? Like, I got to eat a meal today. I got to eat dinner. I'm okay. Jay Pone's up in a cabin right now. Wow. So, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. You mentioned that. So, 2 travelers. Very good. Triple F, hope you're doing well. Hope you're ready for the weekend. The weekend. We know what Adam's going to be doing. Adam's going to be at his Retrofest. Pones is living that cabin life. What's Triple F up to? What's Tower up to this weekend? Hopefully, some good relaxing times. For at least you guys. Yeah, but like I said, it's not too bad working at home when you have to on the weekend. All right, so I do have a machine. I'm using a laptop to kind of do the daily driver control here. And so we do have at least some battery power remaining on there. We should be good. I'm going to try. I can't share the screen, though. Relaxing from defeating the boss of the HR department this week. Excellent. Hopefully, flawless victory. Because that can be Mortal Kombat. I don't know how to share the screen. 8 feet away from an Amiga 4000 with a Video Toaster 4000 in it. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. The old Video Toaster. Haven't seen one of those in, my gosh, probably about 28 years it's been. Hi. Hello again. Oh, good, good, good. Sit down there. Sit down there. And a bitchin' C128D setup. Ooh, very good. I do enjoy my C128D. Mine's just a standard setup. It's the metal chassis, but I do like that setup. Well, good news, Tower. Very good news. As long as you're happy with it, that's what matters. What's the C128D setup there that you're checking out, Adam? I'm assuming old school monitor too, or yeah, that's exactly how you should approach it with HR. Yeah. Well, good. Very good. Relax and bask in the glory of the defeat of HR. All right. Can I even launch a demo from here? Can we do a demo launcher? Can I start that off? It looks like I can. So we're gonna ease into this a little bit. Let's see if we can fit into our demo feed. What do we got here? We got the retro cam. We need the diorama cam up here somewhere, right? Like, that's got to be a thing. Boom! Diorama cam. Oh, okay. Diorama cam isn't wanting to work. Why is that? Hold on here. Let me refresh some things. Diorama cam. Diorama cam. Hello, computer. Nope. Diorama cam's down. Oh, very good, Tower. Congratulations. Oh, boy. All right. Diorama cam is down. That's okay. We've got the retro feed. I guess we don't need to have the diorama cam working. Ay, 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 ay. It's sort of there. Running two RGB to HDMI, which converts both 40 and 80 columns and modes into crystal clear outputs. Oh, very nice. And a 1541 Ultimate 2 to run software and do networking. Wow, that is a pretty bitchin' C128D setup. Awesome. Awesome. I'm sure you'll post some pictures of that as well. So we'll have Jay Pone's pictures of the cabin life, and Adam's pictures of not so cabin life, because that is the antithesis of cabin life, is to have technology like that. But that's some pretty sweet technology. Jiffy DOS, of course, of course. So that's the old school Jiffy DOS, right? So we're talking the chips, actually, right? I imagine. Very cool. Very cool. All right. I guess I'm gonna try csdb.d. Nope. Do I even get a compute? Do I get a laptop monitor? CSDBDK. Come on now. Do I get to type anything? Boy. Actual chips. They're good. Excellent. All right, so top demos. We are going to open up with a demo here. You have a Christoph Fest, I come to that too. Maybe someday. If anything, it'd probably be more like I'd meet you guys at a festival of some sort. That's probably how that would work. I imagine that's how that would be. There's nothing out here. There is definitely nothing out here. The most we get would be like a Comic-Con type of deal, and you might get some old retro stuff there. Like, I've seen a couple small things, but ultimately, you know, not so much. Not so much. All right, I can't show you what I'm looking at the moment, but I am doing an import. We're gonna kick off with a little demo. I have not seen this one before. And it looks like it is by the group Arise, which I think I've seen their stuff before. This one's called Nightworks. Nightworks by Arise. This is from 2025. So we'll see if the curation picks that up. And we'll give it a shot here. Hopefully we get the music through it okay. All good things come to those who have a Commodore 64. All right, we are getting audio at least. Very good. Lovely bit of art there. Oh, that is very nice. Oh, slightly risque, but not too risque. Nicely done. I'm liking the flow of this and what they're doing on the 64. This is great. night, nocturnal pixels, jam sessions by the moonlight. We give you these star-swept bites, cradled from the dark. That's short and sweet, but definitely sweet. I like this one. This is good. Even the credits, I mean, they're just got a nice flow to it. We are going to complete and save that script. Yes. All right. Well, tonight you get to see behind the curtain a little bit and see all the gobbledygook of the agent doing its stuff. But yeah, that's nice. All right, I am going to give that, that is curated safe. Hey, Bick. Yeah, it is, you are seeing behind the curtain tonight. We got multiple things not working well tonight, and I've got 2 computers to basically reinstall this weekend. My main daily driver, which is why you get to see all this gobbledygook, the Skynet behind the scenes, and I can't share my current screen. So, unfortunately, you're just going to have to wait a little bit. All right, Nightworks. That was Nightworks. That was good. Bick, hope you're doing well. Welcome to your Friday. Hopefully it's your Friday. Hopefully it's everybody's Friday. This would happen if you use Mac OS. I don't use Mac OS and it happened. Oh, would not. Well, maybe. I want to continue with the night theme. We have Nightfall 100% by Artline Designs. I think I'm going to check that out here. Let me import this guy real quick. I'm hitting the wrong keyboard. I've got a keyboard sitting on top of a keyboard because the other keyboard connects to a computer that doesn't work. Yeah, don't give me this Mac OS crap here. So I have not seen that yet, Bick. I have been... it's one of those things where if I know I'm going to go see a movie, I don't need to see the trailers. So primarily because trailers these days really spoil the movies, right? You see too much, you see a scene of something, you start forming the, oh, okay, they're going down that line. Yeah, I'd rather be surprised when it happens. So I'm avoiding the Dune 3 trailers primarily because I'm going to go see the movie. Not so much that I don't want to see it, but usually these days they spoil it. I've seen so many trailers that show half the movie in the 40 seconds or so of the trailer, or the 2 minutes or the 3 minutes of the trailer, right? And it's like, nah, I'm good. Did you check it out? Did you like it? Are you looking forward to seeing it? You've already... You are forgiven, Bick. I'll allow it this time. I am the law. All right, let's not corrupt the stream. It should work. Excellent, good. I'm good for that. I'm glad it's getting hyped, right? In the sense that people are looking forward. Computer terminology. Commodore is news. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up
with the Commodore.
Okay, so there's a thing.
Is keeping up with
But
you.
that's just part of what it is. So Triple F, thank you for the bits.
In a world that's full of
And we can see like
are you keeping up?
it puts cheer in there, right? Because of just how that works. But it didn't break it. It didn't break it. So the 80 character limit is holding. But what that means is that if we set a message and it sends those first 80 characters, it takes a little time to get the message there because that's just that much more transmission. But it didn't break it. And the bit cheers, I could look at possibly detecting the cheer word and removing that so that, because otherwise cheer one, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have it, right? But Triple F, thank you very much for the bits. Thank you for the long text test, because I think we're good. We're not corrupting the display. We didn't do it this time like we did last time. It's still running. Everything looks good. The little dude is still doing his thing. So, yeah. I'll remove the cheer part. I think we can do that easily enough. Yeah, we can do that. I can't do it now, unfortunately, because I've got to be able to connect to the dev box, and all that stuff is on the main machine that is no longer, it's not with us at the moment. Let me go take a look real quick at what that's saying right now. It was at 16% restoration. See who died? Who died? Oh, I'm not even getting a signal from the machine now. What is going on? Richard Mantooth. I don't know who Richard Mantooth is. I don't know if this machine is actually going to restore. Damn it. I really didn't want to have to reinstall Windows. Let me switch back here. Okay, am I going to get a signal? I'm getting something, but what? What am I getting? Oh my God, this is a rough stream. Richard Mantooth. I do not, let me look who this is. Emergency. Oh. No, but I don't think I ever saw Emergency. Over a career spanning 5 decades, he has worked extensively in television, film, and theater, later becoming a spokesperson for firefighter and EMS advocacy. Honored as an honorary fire chief, he remains active in public speaking on first responder health and safety. 80 years. I did not see. Yeah, I do not recognize him. But what a name. Richard Mantooth. Died at 80 years old. Okay. Yeah, you're putting a list of every firefighter game and going to stream them if I can find them. Excellent. Hey, that'd be great. Right up your alley. Right up your alley. So are you going to try to find these across consoles? Right? Like any firefighting game? So if there's one for like Sega or something like that, you're going to have to try to find the emulator and the ROMs or an actual Sega, right? That'd be cool. That'd be very cool. Yeah, Luna. Luna agrees. It's very cool. You can't hear her right now, but she is vehemently agreeing down on the floor. Across console. Hey, excellent. Yeah, because then you can see like if you have a game that you like, how does that differ on the ports, right? Because sometimes the ports are just horrible. Fam is all good. Thank you very much. Fam is good here. It's Friday night. Most people are out doing stuff during the summer, but I'm just down in the basement trying to keep cool. Luna is doing Luna things, clearly. He is, thank you for asking. Buddy is doing okay. He has taken to unconventional ways of relieving himself. He's always had a problem with that, but now he's kind of dropping packages on the floor, on the carpet, in front of the kitty litter box. And so we don't know what's going on there. We think maybe it's the litter change or something like that. The cat doesn't like it, so he says, well, I'm gonna be defiant and I'm gonna poop right here instead. Thankfully, he's not doing it on the computers or anything, but it is in the same room. So sometimes I come down here, or Triple P will come down here, and she'll find some presents waiting for her. Well, thank you very much, Triple F. Yeah, all in all, he's okay. He's still so thin. He's still so thin. We got to get that guy some meat on his bones again, because he lost, gosh, 7-8 pounds or something like that over the last half a year when this really started hitting him. So he's a thin boy. Mountain Stars, welcome. Welcome. Yes, I will hydrate. Hydrate right now. You can't see it. I don't think you can see it. Well, you kind of can see it. There is some liquid in here. Happy Friday, Mountain Stars. Little Francesca, which is cranberry juice mixed with Fresca. Very refreshing. Happy Friday, Mountain Stars. So far we've seen, I think the C64 streamer limit has been working. At some point we'll remove the extra cheer pieces, but it's working. It's not broken again. And we're back on the C64U. So you can see the lights lit up there on the dungeon view. So there's that. We're doing all right there. Triple F says, hi, PPP. She might be listening. She might hear us. I'm not sure. Usually when she's in her office doing things, she'll have me on a separate tab and she'll kind of lurk away. But whether or not she has the audio up, we don't know, because she's usually doing other things and she might not have the audio of our stream up. It has returned. So unfortunately, the machine that I was thinking of doing some of the assembly stuff tonight, right? Using Quen and OpenCode, and I've got a RAG pipeline with 6 programming books for the Commodore 64, Butterfield's assembly language for the C64, mapping the C64 from compute, Commodore's C64 Programmer's Guide, and a couple others. And I was going to use that to feed the LLM. An MCP server set up so the LLM can talk to that and then query the retro books. So I've built a whole vector database with the RAG pipeline, and I was going to use that to say, okay, can we take our code and can we convert this to maybe assembler to make it run a little faster? Because what Triple F had done just now is he cheered a bunch of bits. Thank you again, Triple F. But it took a while for that string to get over. And the C64 streamer, really, it's just a timing thing. I wait so long for your average message length before I pan the monitor or the camera down to the printer and all that. If you put in a full 80 characters, he doesn't really have, it takes him a long time to get the characters across. And if he's got to retry it, that takes another second or two. That chips away at the timing. So the timing on this is very manual and somewhat specific. It is a very weak 1200 baud. And I say weak because I know 300 works, but 300 with the 80 characters, when he did a long message, right, which is what we fixed. We capped the message text at 80 characters. So overall, I'm probably sending 80 to 100 characters because I send the streamer's name or the name of the person that did the event, right? So Triple F, would come out there. That's, 15, 20 characters or something like that. There's an event code. There's the date and time, right? So even if you send an 80 text message, 80 character text message, there's probably 100-ish that gets sent to the C64. And at 300 baud, that's really slow. And at 1200 baud, it's better, but the 1200 baud is really weak in the sense that I will get garbled characters. So to work around that, when the ESP32 is sending a message to the C64, it builds its message text, and then it creates a checksum, a simple math checksum on all the characters. I can't remember how I do it anymore. It's probably ASCII character codes all added up and then truncated at some level, right? It's a very weak checksum because the C64 has to do the same checksum, right? So I'm not making anything special. I'm not doing like an MD5 hash because then the C64 has to know how to hash that. So I then append the checksum at the end. So the C64 streamer is waiting for its whole string of text, and it looks for numbers at the end as the checksum. It then looks at the length of the string and looks at the checksum, and if it recalculates the checksum, and if it matches, it's a two match, the checksum it sees from the text as well as the checksum that it was given, then we know the message has not been corrupted because 1200 baud occasionally will garble a byte. If it detects that there's a garbling there, the checksums don't match, he basically sends WTF back to the C64 streamer, the ESP32 circuit. The ESP32 then resends the message. So yeah, that can go on until the message actually comes through well. Many times it's the first time, but not all the time. And I've got on the main PC, as well as the dev box, I've got SOCAT, which is socket cat, basically. And I can connect a simple Python script to SOCAT, and I can connect SOCAT to Vice, and I can reproduce that with Vice, the emulator. And you can see that 1200 baud occasionally drops. The problem, I believe, is that I'm trying to read 1200 baud and concatenate a string in BASIC, which means I'm missing a byte now and then, or it's getting garbled, or I'm dropping a byte because I can't do it fast enough. String concatenation is expensive, and then just the fact that I'm going through basic routines, right? So I was thinking, if nothing else, putting that in some machine language part and calling it, and then maybe getting like copying that to an area in the string buffer when we know we've got our beginning and end point, instead of doing concatenation, and somehow then telling my basic program, hey, your string value is now your string is pointing here instead, where we've copied the entire, let's say 100 and some bytes, right? We copy that off somewhere in one operation, at least one operation from our standpoint. I'm not concatenating strings is the bigger deal there, right? I'm not concatenating. We copy that over so I can reference it back in BASIC and then do the normal basic programming flow. That was my thought, at least a very simple way to say, I don't want to convert the entire thing to assembler, but I want to convert the I/O and the string building there. Any thoughts about a queue to break the process down into multiple steps, or maybe if the WTF message is returned, pause for a certain amount of time before resending, or even drop the resend rate down to 300? Sure. Yeah, we could drop it to 300. 300's rougher because I have to then tell the C64 to close the channel and reopen it at 300. So that's just a slightly bit rougher. So I probably want to lean away from that just for that sake alone, because then I've got to know when I can go back up. So I do not necessarily pause between the sending. It's really more just retry it, right? Because you could retry immediately and it'll work. So the pausing, there is the idea of pausing individual characters in the send. So even if you take like SOCAT out of the picture, the ESP32 still has a delay between when he sends each character, because he doesn't really know baud. He doesn't know that delay there. As far as he's concerned, he's just sending text out on the line, basically. So there is some delay there I can play with. even if it runs at 1200. The worst part about the speed is when you've got a full message and you're doing it 300. You can see the darn thing just crawl. And I kind of wanted to try to get away from that a little bit. But what I'd like to try, because I know the fact that doing string concatenation in BASIC on a C64 is not great, I wanted to try to remove that part just to see if the 1200 would be consistent. I could still do the checksums, right? But if the 1200 is just consistently good by getting the concatenation out of the read, then maybe we'd be okay, right? And then I'd be fine in general. But I feel like I am asking for trouble with the implementation as it currently stands in BASIC because of that string concatenation. But the ESP32 will hold back messages. He will queue things back up until he can actually get a good send to the C64. So he queues on his side. So I never try to flood the C64 at all. It's clearly a try to resend the message until you can send it. Now, if the C64 is down, the ESP32 will eventually stop trying. It'll drop a message, right? You gotta drop it somewhere. That's the wonderful nature of distributed computing. But if like somebody cheered up a bunch of bits right now and somebody else cheered and somebody else cheered or whatever it was, those all get queued back. We do not try to force those through the C64. So there is already a queuing mechanism at that level. But the individual message, not so much. Yeah. Yep. I don't let it flood. And in fact, there's multiple queues. The ESP32 will queue up 100 messages or something like that. I just needed to give it a number, right? It sees those as individual message. But all the code that talks to Twitch and then is the adapter between Twitch and the ESP32, that's a whole queuing mechanism. That's part of the software that I've written that queues up all the things. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I was gonna try to bring up assembler and we could look at running Vice and all that stuff, but my main driver kind of toasted out today, and it was like at 3:30 or something like that. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that tonight, right? I'm not going to get all the stuff reinstalled, but maybe next time. But yeah, the queuing to avoid the flooding, my whole setup here is very much using that queue. So even before I go to the ESP32, where's my machine? My machine's still running here? Great, this monitor just went into power saving mode. Hold on, give me 1 second here. Extend, duplicate. Why did you just die? Now I can't see chat again. I can see it over there, but I want the monitor to... What is going on with... My poop is not in a group. That's what my wife would say. Get your poop in a group. Get your shit together. My poop? There's no group. All right, so do I have to reconnect? Let me just take the... There it is. Okay, now we've got HDMI back. So if somebody does like a... don't stand on the laptop. Oh, it feels like it today. I have thought about reducing, like I am sending for check-in. Like if you do the check-in action, I actually send the word check-in, right? I could totally make that one character. I could totally start doing that, right? And cutting down on the characters, because at this point, characters matter, right? If you're at 300 baud, each character matters. So I could do that type of stuff. It's really the bigger part of the text is the message that gets sent. Like if somebody does a check-in or subscribes, right, and they type out a message, I want that message to go over to the C64. So that's your bigger part. The character, the The person's name is the other bigger part, right? That's where if you were to type in 80 characters and then their name, you're going to send that many characters over. So I could try to reduce some parts of the message, but not all of it. But yeah, there's a whole queue in the OBS software here. Like if you do a retro story time or a Buddy versus Luna argument or a check-in on the C64, all of that is queued because each of those things tend to take over the entire stream for a period of seconds, right? If I get shout outs and things like that working again, I would put that into my own queuing system again so that the shout out doesn't play on top of something that somebody else is doing or vice versa. If you don't want to send the person's message, you could store a basic message on the C64 and just do a replace with their name and a bit amount on the string locally on the C64. Yes, very much so. Yep, that's exactly, yes. So I think on some of the events, I was going down that road because really, what do I need? If it's bits, just give me the bits and the name, right? I can say, hey, thanks for so many bits, right? But you also have the option to put a message in when you cheer. And then I was like, well, okay. So at that point, I was like, well, I want to allow a message. But I know what you're talking about. Yep, that's a very good point, right? Like you could just put the bare minimum, template out your string, and build it that way with the data. Damn straight. And normally that's what I do. And I think maybe for the raid, I think I do that one. Like it's very much like who, raid count, whatever, and then the code just looks at it. But for check-in on the C64, which is the check-in redemption, I wanted somebody to be able to type their message. And for cheers, you can type messages after them. So I'm like, yeah, I do want to allow a message. But yeah, you're right on. You're right on. You bring up some very good points. So if I try another one here just real quick to see, like, this is a message. I expect it to be truncated. But where? Who knows? It's probably well after this because this has got to be past 80 characters. Right? That should be it.
In a world of fun and fantasy and ever
Oh, Mountain Stars, no problem at all. These are good thoughts. This is the type of discussion I like to have about things because what if I didn't think of something?
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Well, I very much appreciate the points.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. In a world of high technology.
Yeah, this is a long message because I did 80.
In a world that's full of
and we've already gone off the display, right? So if you fill out 80 characters, that delay is there. That's partially because I don't have the C64 talk back to the ESP. They're not talking back to each other all the time.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Yeah, definitely, right? So you can see there's the 80 characters get truncated. And part of that was me wanting to increase the baud rate so that I didn't have to worry about the timing. And maybe we assume, oh, that was the dubstep C64 song there. Maybe we assume
incoming in 60 seconds.
80 characters across the board, right? And then at 1200 baud, I wouldn't care as much. I don't have a log right now of I don't know if I can tell right now on the ESP32. Let me take a look here real quick. Let's see, the ESP32 C64 streamer, web serial. I'm going to do that one more time because I've got web serial up and I want to see if the ESP32 had to re-deliver any of those messages real quick. So bear with me here. We're going to send another message to check in. And oh, you claimed the max amount available to you. Am I blocked on my own redemption? Hold on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This reward is temporarily out of stock. I've blocked my own viewer reward from me. Let me see if I can reduce that live. I don't know if Twitch will let me do that, but let's see. Let's edit the check-in. And redemption number, limit redemptions per stream, redemptions per user. We'll do 5. We'll do 5. I don't know if that'll take effect. Let's see. Check in again. I'm going to check in again. Of course, I can get around it with other ways, but I'm trying to do that through the system. All right, so we've added that. The queue is paused because ads are running. So that's what you're seeing now as part of my OBS Java queuing system, right? So when ads pop up, I detect that and I pause anything on the queue because I don't want ads to come into play and stop somebody from seeing something, right? Like if it's a retro story time or a Buddy versus Luna or a Commodore 64 streamer thing. So there's that queue already. Then the ESP32 has its own queue, right? So we're doubly protected in many ways. So as soon as the ad break ends, the queue will resume and the C64 will pick up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch that on the web serial side and see if I can detect retransmissions, because I don't log that out. It's basically the web serial on the ESP32 itself. It'll tell me when it sends stuff to the Commodore. I'm kind of curious how many times we're retransmitting. It's not every time, but it's enough. All right, ads are up for a minute. I am going to get up and stretch my legs. So give me a couple minutes here. That sounds good. Let's blame that. It's not my string manipulation in BASIC. Heck no. Not one bit. All right, full single source. And the KIO TV broadcast. And what do we got? CES from 91. Well, hello there. How about this in a Commodore, in a compact portable? How's that sound? Be right back.
The Sharper Image is a store known for its electronic gadgets. It's not actually a computer store. You won't find anything for sale in here that actually has a disk drive, a keyboard, and a monitor. But virtually everything for sale in here does have a computer chip or two hidden inside it. Indeed, the worlds of computer technology and consumer electronics are quickly merging. Today, we'll take a look at the growing role of computers in consumer electronics as we visit the annual Consumer Electronics Show.
64. I cook with it, steam with it, educate the team with it. My Commodore 64. I pitch with it, catch with it, count my chicks before they hatch with it. My Commodore 64. My SID chip singing got that VIC-2 glow. 64K, it's all I know. With 1 megahertz electrons flow, but my 1541 so gosh darn slow.
I adore my 64, my Commodore 64. I cook with it, steam with it, educate the team with it. My Commodore 64.
Want to handle music. In fact, what this is over here, these are little ROM cartridges with kind of clip art libraries of graphics and animation, a clip art library of music and sound effects. It's really quite an astonishing merger of these two technologies we've been talking about. It seems to me not only are the technologies merging, but we're seeing the same kinds of problems on both sides, aren't we? The problem of friendly user interface, the problem of so much functionality that most people can't figure out how to use it.
Right, absolutely. I think each industry, as they merge, has a lot to learn from the other, and we both have quite a job in making all these things easier to use. I mean, I've been in the computer industry for a long time, and yet if you go to my house, you'll find that my VCR is flashing 12 because I don't know how to set the time, and I've never bothered. I look at something like this, and I can guess that half the people who buy it will never use more than the record button on the back. So I think we really have an opportunity taking this technology and making it easier to use, making it friendlier, so we get more out of the devices that we're creating.
Well, today we're going to take a look at the growing role of computers in consumer electronics. We'll see the merger of video and computers in Commodore's new CD-TV system. We'll see how Nintendo is turning the Game Boy into an adult product with business productivity cartridges. So let's go right now to Las Vegas and the annual Winter Consumer Electronics Show.
All right, I am back.
The 1991 Winter
I heard
Consumer
Commodore
Electronics
CDTV.
Show,
Let's
or CES,
see if we can find the
was held
segment
in
on
Las
that.
Vegas, Nevada, which also happens to be the site of Comdex, but decided that it was simply a good idea to be present.
Well, really, with the launch of PS1, we've entered the consumer electronics business. And this is since the launch in September
I still got that disc.
This was the first opportunity for us to be at a
MS-DOS
national
3.1.
level to see the kind of
That's the original label I
traffic
wrote,
that would
like
come
Rune
through,
style
to
in
listen to the dealers
my youth.
and the retailers, and to hear what they're saying about the PS1.
IBM's home computer, the PS1, was the platform for most of the applications on display, and most applications were noticeably colorful, graphic, and friendly looking.
Ease of use is key. People have to
I did not know
that they can
yes,
get
the high
into
school
it
S.
through the graphic interface.
When's the last time that
and
was
have
done? Do they do that anymore in school?
all-in-one type feeling. This is a completely market-driven product.
I want to see the CD-TV.
A Motorola 68000 and 1 megabyte of RAM. But Commodore went to great lengths to make premiered its CD-TV, a black box with a CD-ROM player and a microprocessor inside. The CD-TV is a hybrid of computer, video disc player, CD audio, and CD-ROM, operated by a handheld remote control. Commodore calls it an interactive multimedia compact disc player. CD-TV has its own CPU, a Motorola 68000, and 1 megabyte of RAM. But Commodore went to great lengths to make CD-TV look like anything but a computer.
The consumer electronics business is oriented towards boxes. We are not selling a computer here. And we're not particularly selling a component.
Definitely the first that most people use.
Separable from a CD player. The CD-ROM drive is an integral part of the player itself. So we took the very simple elements that I described and put them into one simple box.
In fact, let me take a look
And that made sense at the right price point, which is about $1,000. Nice consumer price.
The CD-TV unit looks like a large CD audio player with more sophisticated input and output devices. The TV-like infrared remote control has a number keypad and arrow keys. At the back of the CD player, you'll find audio and video jacks, as well as parallel and serial ports. There's even an interface for a floppy disk drive. Instead of a hard disk, the CD-TV player has a memory card port, where users can store data on 512K smart cards.
Let's try this.
We decided to package it like a piece of fine audio gear to make it very user-friendly and usable in a living room environment. We really didn't.
Here we go. Here's Reboot's MS-DOS that he remembers. Hell yeah, 512K. Oh my God, Donut. That would take me back. I didn't have the cars, but I knew the guys that did, right? Definitely.
Welcome to the Microsoft MS-DOS 5 upgrade training. This is the first time MS-DOS has been available as an upgrade. It's new.
No, it's not. If it was, he'd be going, developers, developers,
We're
developers.
introducing
I don't think that's
something
Ballmer.
new. It's essential for all, the many and the few.
It's in your
Even if they put a wig on him.
Microsoft Vansu.
The MS-DOS 5 upgrade is a hit, and no PC should be without it.
No PC should be without it.
There are 3 key benefits to the MS-DOS 5 upgrade. Okay, girls, shrink it down. It's late at night, you're feeling right, working at your PC. Yo, your face turns green because the word on the screen is you're out of memory.
Oh no!
Give me 5.
Give me 5.
Give me 5.
Give me 5.
Upgrade to MS-DOS 5. Make DOS applications come alive.
3 more memory, can't you see? Spring those K's that got to be free.
Give me 5.
Give me 5.
Soothes any memory hogging beast, cause it frees 45K of memory at least. And that's why everyone who's in knows it's also the best DOS to run with Windows. Give me 5.
Give me 5.
You think MS-DOS is a mystery?
Johnny
Admit
Five
it. MS-DOS
is
5 is easier.
alive.
Here's how we did it. We gave it a graphical
Where's the
shell.
MS-DOS
That's the
step
ticket.
menu?
It's DOS with a prettier face. Yo, kick it.
Looking good. Like it should.
To copy files from drive
Number
to drive,
5
just
is
drag and
alive
drop.
with
Give me
MS-DOS 5.
Wondering what command to use? Select from our drop-down menus.
The graphical shell. Do tell. The mystery's gone. Go on.
Plus online help, task swapper, editor, and lots of features to help you do more. One command helps you take the heat when you really mess up. Undelete.
The MS-DOS 5 upgrade is slick. Even from the network, installs real quick.
Loads over any DOS on anyone's PC, but now you may be wondering how safe can it be?
I'd ask that, yeah. So would I. I'd want to know more before I buy.
Microsoft said, hear this rhyme. We'll test the upgrade big time.
Hit it!
Ran
Jesus.
the biggest beta test in PC history. Hammered at it, yo, it ended most triumphantly.
No PC should be without it. No PC should be without it.
These MS-DOS 5 upgrade tales begin and end with mega sales. Here's the future, it's no dream. Customers in a steady stream. DOS has 60 million users waiting. Time for them all to be upgrading.
Everybody DOS now. Everybody DOS now.
Everybody DOS
MS-DOS
now.
5 sounds
Oh
easy when
boy.
you tell it. The only thing easier is when you sell it. It's gonna be a cash machine for you. Upgrading is the natural thing to do. Give me 5.
Give me 5.
Give me 5.
Give me 5.
PC
Alone
Music
or as an
Factory
add-on,
aware
the
that
product is a hit.
everybody
no
DOS
PC
now
should be without it.
was
MS-DOS
also a
5
thing?
upgrade. Take that image further. It's like selling fries with every burger.
MS-DOS 5 upgrade with that. MS-DOS 5 upgrade with that.
No PC should be without it.
No PC should be without it. No PC should
would
be
you?
without it. No PC should be without it. No PC should be without it. No PC should be without it.
Yo,
No
MS
PC
Raps.
should be
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Messages. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Long ago, in the distant future, where evil knights joust upon beasts
oh,
of
sure.
the
Yeah,
air,
yeah.
you too must fly, joust, and retrieve the enemy's egg before it hatches, and beware the lava below. You can experience this world from the other side. It's called Joust, the arcade game, home now.
My favorite arcade game.
A video game, hardly. Joust. You don't play it, you live it.
Occasionally, I do have the commercial here that will randomly play where the guy turns into an ostrich from Joust. It's the freakiest commercial.
Coming up next.
Oh, this is from a place I used to live 6 years ago, where Luna got to see an opossum out the window eating the bird seed.
Followed by.
And she was very curious. What is this thing?
episode 20.
A little opossum there.
Spa Cody Awards, 1996. And then, from 1998, Computer Chronicles Season 16, Episode 13, Comdex Special, 1998.
You're watching Christoph IO TV, and now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Oh, me with the giant vegetables. I did not make that. Yeah, you want to check out the buyer's guide a little bit? Since I can't show any code tonight. Switch over to
I'm shopping on this kiosk here, looking for computer stuff to get some presents for some hacker friends of mine. Trouble is, there's so many interesting things here, I'm really not sure what to buy. You having the same problem? If so, then this is your day, because we're going to bring together our group of resident Computer Chronicles experts to find out what their picks are for the best high-tech toys of the year, as we bring you our annual Consumers Buying Guide show on this edition of the Computer Chronicles.
I don't think we'll see any Donuts car mods in here, but we might see some interesting things. It could be. Yippee-ki-yay.
Computer Chronicles is brought to you in part by Intel, microprocessor technology for the software of today and tomorrow.
Welcome to the party,
Intel,
pal.
the computer inside. Additional funding is provided by the Software Publishers Association, providers of educational materials to help manage software. Don't copy that floppy. And by Hewlett-Packard, Personal Computer Division.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and with me today is Paul Schindler, Northern California Bureau Editor for Windows Magazine. Paul, we've got lots of neat toys to look at today. Let's start off with this thing.
All right, Stuart, this is one way of getting at a service called Radio Mail. Now, that's $89 a month for unlimited incoming and outgoing electronic mail.
For many years.
Is this Mobidem portable cellular modem. That's $800 from GE Ericsson. This is the smallest unit you can hook it to get email. This is an HP 95LX, but this same modem will hook to the serial port of any portable computer. You can get your electronic mail anywhere, anytime, on a boat, on a plane, in a car. It's the neatest way to get electronic mail. No phones, wireless email.
Pretty cool. All right, if we're talking about mobile computing, I always use my notebook over here, right? You never have enough room on your hard drive, no matter how big your hard drive is. This is the solution, a portable...
I mean, if you think about it, you can do a lot more now, but the cost is still kind of there. Got to pay that monthly cell fee.
Pocketable, little portable hard drive, runs on 4 rechargeable batteries. This is an 80 megabyte one for about $400. You can get up to 200 megabytes in this little thing. Just plugs right into your parallel port. Takes me about 30 seconds to install it. There you go. Take it home. All right. Paul and I will be joined today by Tim Bahar and Gina Smith for a look at the neatest new computer goodies on the market. We look mainly at software and peripherals for IBM PC compatibles and the Macintosh, but there are people out there who don't use either a Mac or a PC. So we'll begin by checking out what's available for the other kinds of computers.
Millions of people shop for software and add-ons that are not for the PC, not for the Mac, but for the Amiga. It's the platform of choice for many who work with video and computer-generated animation, but a popular gift for any Amiga user is games.
The Amiga is the #2 game machine in all of Europe. We get a lot of titles from the European community, Amiga community. So there's a lot of arcade-type games like Hired Guns. Mainstream products like KidPix from Broderbund is available. SimLife, a lot of titles you recognize on other platforms are all available on the Amiga.
Some of the best deals can be found in multimedia productivity and authoring tools for the Amiga. Scala multimedia software costs about $300 and lets you create professional-looking presentations using all aspects of media.
We can take animations and graphics and backgrounds and texts and fonts and add wipes and flips and tumbles and transitions.
I wonder if
he
tried to embrace
music,
his last name.
And voice overlays and control how those work together. Put them all together into a real dynamic presentation.
Movie Maker is a non-linear desktop video and audio editing package that lets you combine full-motion video off your hard drive with computer animation. The resulting movie can then be transferred to videotape. Movie Maker costs $900 and runs on the Amiga 3000 and 4000 models.
It also needs a very fast SCSI disk controller and a SCSI hard drive. It can animate through native Amiga display modes, or it can use DCTV from Digital Creations. And that's really about it.
That's great.
It's primarily a software-based system. So
he does have a
no
Jeff Daniels vibe to him, doesn't he?
That are required.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Janelle Patterson.
Yeah, I'd buy that Any Donut. That's a good call.
Have all our guest experts gathered here in the studio right now to show us some neat Macintosh products, including again Paul Schindler of Windows Magazine, Tim Baharan of Creative Strategies, and Gina Smith of Electronic Entertainment Magazine. Paul, let's start with you, and what do you have for the Mac?
A bunch of Mac stuff. Wanted to just mention Richard Dalton of Keep Track gave me a hand picking this software out, and the first one I have is the new Grolier Multimedia Encyclopedia from Grolier Electronic Publishing in Stamford, Connecticut. It's $400, and the 1994 edition adds animated maps.
The Multimedia Encyclopedia, strong bad.
Mississippi's Florida. It's a combination of sound and color in maps to demonstrate historical movements. This is the Civil War. They have another one that shows the westward expansion in the United States, signed articles, bibliographies. It's the finest CD-ROM encyclopedia, and I don't see any reason that anybody should use a paper encyclopedia anymore.
All right, load your next toy, and I'm going to show something right now. This is a program called Color from a company called Micro Frontier. It's image editing and a paint program for the Macintosh. It doesn't come in a very fancy box, and for a good reason. It is free, basically. It sells for $150 normally. They are giving away 1 million copies of these during the rest of this year. So if you get in touch with Micro Frontier and you're one of the first million for about $8.50 shipping and handling, you can get painted, a great color painting program for the Mac. What do you have next?
I have Crystal Crazy, $50 from Cassidy and Green in Salinas, California, the worthy successor to Crystal Quest. It has many of the same elements. It has the little ship. It has crystals you can gather. It has the cool sound effects. That was me dying. And what I want to do is get up here and show you the second level, because instead of just gathering crystals, at the second level, you smash objects into the wall.
Sounds like fun.
It's a terrific game. It's always been a terrific game. It's good in color, and I just can't recommend this highly enough. Yeah, he gets it.
Get all those hostilities out.
Yeah,
Mac gaming. I played one game on a Mac.
Hard enough they don't break.
It was Might and Magic.
Crystal
All right, Crystal Crazy.
Now, Crystal Crazy.
Somebody had it on their machine. I was helping them with something. An English teacher. I was over at her house helping her with something, and she had a Mac, and she had like one game. And it was weird to play a game on a Mac.
You see this now? What's a Sticka? Unbelievable is what a Sticka is. It makes vinyl signs. Now, I'm confidently told it would cost you $20 to have this vinyl sign done. You put in raw vinyl into this device, you hook it to your Macintosh, you use some software, and you can do custom in any typeface you want. I did the Computer
wow,
Chronicles.
look at that, like a early Cricket.
All right, one more thing.
This is the Disney Screensaver, $50 from Berkeley Systems. You know, they say everything has been done in screensavers. This is incredible. They licensed the Disney characters, they grabbed the bitmaps from actual Disney animation, and it's hours of
steals your files, huh?
Goofy just grabs your folders and shoves them off your screen. Funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's really cute. All right, Paul, thank you very much. I want to go over here and join Tim. And Tim, what do you have up on the Mac?
Very much so, after dark,
This is a new product from Microsoft called Creative Writer, and it's really a word processor for kids, but you wouldn't know it. What you do is you see they've got an Idea Workshop, Project Workshop, Writing Studio, and Library. We're going to go up here to the Idea Workshop, and it brings us to kind of, it looks like a slot machine in reality, but it's actually a little device.
Or maybe it came out with Bob, but for kids.
Use to give us story ideas. And so it's going to bring up a bigger version of it. And we pulled a fish down, and it gives us a couple of things right. Until we get maybe the terminology we want to get the creative juices flowing. So this is the squirrel sprinted underneath a deserted island. It may sound crazy, but we'll go over to a sheet now where we can actually start playing with the sentence. And the sentence comes up, and you already see this squirrel and everything. So now we can start playing with it. We can actually take that and add color to it.
All you need.
And perhaps we could even make it bigger by hitting this. And then we can go to another segment and add a click art item of some type. We're going to go ahead and add a giraffe.
Does that work? Let's try that.
And put him in here. And now you can see we've got this kind of a crazy little story idea coming around.
A squirrel.
But it's a great little product.
It's really cute.
Absolutely, and I think that parents will love to have this for kids to get their creative juices flowing and learning about
Desert
writing.
Island.
Creative writer.
Right.
All right, while you load up your next thing,
Right?
let me show
I
one thing
wonder,
very
is
similar
there
to what
something
you were
like
talking
that?
about. Kid Studio, another creative program, a little more graphically oriented,
We'll
less
find out here
text-oriented,
shortly.
from a company called Cyber Puppy Software. It's really neat for kids. As you can see, lots of pictures, lots of things for kids to play with and become creative, similar to Creative
We'll
Writer.
see if the
What else do you have, Tim?
This
funny
new
holds.
product is the newest version of SimCity. And SimCity has been something that's been really exciting. You can build your own
that's
cities and
neat.
try to figure it out. But they've got a new version called SimCity 2000.
The future.
Right. And we're loading up right now a new version of one of the demo cities. This happens to be called Bob
I never
City.
really super got into
And, we're gonna
SimCity too
zoom in
much.
here real
I
quick
think
and
I
take
played it a
good
little
look
bit,
at the
but
bigger picture. And the idea behind this, of course, is to try
sometimes
to
I
get
would just
as
feel
much of the
overwhelmed.
city
Too much going on.
built that is either making money or at least doing well on its own. And so, first thing I might want to do is here's a building that actually is uninhabited, and if it's uninhabited, it's costing
I remember it
money,
being
so
very
I'm going
popular.
to blow it up. Something I've always wanted to do. But then we can go on the other side and actually start building some new futuristic things. For example, in SimCity 2000, we've got these beautiful new building ideas that are much more futuristic. And we're going to happen to choose this, what they call the Forest Arco, take it over here and build it up. And as you can see, now we have a whole new version of a much more futuristic world. SimCity 2000 going to be available by the Christmas time. I don't know what it's going to be sold for, but it's going to be a nice product.
Tim, thank you very much. Let's go over here to join Gina Smith. And Gina, what do you have on your Mac?
Hi, Stuart. I have the most addicting thing you've ever seen in your life, and it's not even a game.
All right, show me.
This is a multimedia title. It's for PCs and Macs with CD-ROM drives. It's called Rock, Rap, and Roll. What this does is actually lets you mix your own music. It has hundreds of pre-recorded tracks in blues, rock, reggae, African.
Look at the
almost any
interfaces,
kind of musical genre
right?
you can think of. This is the blues screen.
All right, show me.
If you look at these along this
Desktop
line here are
application
the tracks that we
interfaces
have to
during
choose
these years
from.
were
You can hear
just
some of them here.
crazy.
It's like 4 to 8 bars like that. We drag these in order to our Songalizer. It doesn't have to be in a particular
And this one's fairly
order.
tame,
I'll
but
do
still,
the
it's
1,
like
3.
very unique,
So you're really
very
composing your song by
domain-driven
dragging these little
interface.
riffs and putting them in sequence.
Sure, you want like a turnaround right toward the end,
Okay.
and then you want to take it home. Okay, so this is your song in order. Then you can adjust what your lead instruments are. As you see here, it says a harp.
Okay.
That's it. Maybe we don't want 2 harps, so we'll change that to, say, how about a sax?
Okay, sax 2.
That interface and then
Just sound
a
that.
OS-specific
Right,
menu
and here's
pop-up
the
always
other
got me,
arm.
right? Like,
Maybe we'll leave that one as
look
it
at this
is.
interface, and then
Here are
let's
our
show you a
vocalists.
very generic
Female vocalist.
pop-up.
Our male vocalist. Down here is the key map, and if you look here, you can see what the various keys here. So if you
So
look,
you can actually play along with your keyboard.
do it. X is guitar, as you see from the screen.
No,
C.
I don't remember Kawasaki Rhythm Rocker.
Okay.
So now we can start our song. Oh, we want to adjust this too because the screen is a little.
Was that another example of like that,
So we'll
that
change that.
interface
How
being
about to a
very,
whoa?
domain-driven, music generation-driven?
Much better. So we start our song. Have a sax here.
So you're playing this, right?
This is it. We're playing everything. We're playing the voices here. How about a whoa?
Too much.
It's pretty neat.
All right.
And that's about it.
I want to show you one thing, Gina. If we can get out of this a second. Let me
Sure,
grab
just
the
go
mouse
to
from you a
quit for a
second. Get
minute.
over quit. I want to show you something. There's a little moral question involved in this, perhaps. See ya. Okay. This is something new. It's over here. It's called the Game Cheater. Okay. And it's a little guy named Axis, and it actually lets you cheat on most of the computer games. Now, and this is maybe not a right thing to do, but it's a lot of fun. You get frustrated playing these games, and you cannot get anywhere. These are all the games you can cheat on with Game Cheater. We see 4D Boxing, A-Train, Beyond Dark Castle, Crystal Crazy. Paul was playing that before. We could have gotten him an extra ship or a smart.
All right, let's hear about a squirrel sprinting underneath a desert island, whatever that means. Oh, it's going to be on the Spectrum tonight. This is going to be horrible, I'm betting.
The Squirrel Who Traded Fear for an Acorn by Mr. Christoph. The squirrel didn't just run, It committed to a vertical velocity that defied both gravity and common sense, launching itself off a jagged basalt outcrop with the desperate elegance of a missile gone rogue. Its tail streamed behind it like a banner of surrender as it plummeted into the abyssal dark. A tiny furry comet streaking through the cool stagnant air of the cave system beneath the sand. The island above was a sun-bleached rock, surrounded by a different ocean, but down here, in the damp throat of the earth, the temperature dropped 10 degrees every second, and the silence was so heavy, it felt like a physical weight pressing against the squirrel's eardrums.
What is this?
Midair, the squirrel realized with a jolt of pure, unadulterated panic that it had miscalculated the trajectory by approximately 40 degrees and a significant amount of hubris. It wasn't aiming for the soft, welcoming embrace of a mossy ledge. It was aiming directly for a colony of blind, irritable cave bats who had clearly marked their airspace with an abundance of guano and territorial screeching. The air filled with the sound of leathery wings snapping open like wet umbrellas, and the squirrel performed a mid-fall aerial twist, tucking its limbs in tight as a gymnast who had forgotten the floor existed.
I really got to tone down the number of sentences per paragraph.
A chaotic ricochet. The squirrel bounced off the back of a particularly large bat, who let out a sound that could only be described as a squeaky toy being stepped on by a boot, and then tumbled into a pile of ancient, forgotten pirate treasure. Gold coins clinked melodically against a rusted cutlass, and a diamond-encrusted compass spun lazily before settling into the dirt, but the squirrel paid no mind to the wealth of dead men. It was too busy trying to remember how to walk. Its legs splayed out in a starfish of confusion amidst the glittering detritus of human
Wow, its legs splayed out in a starfish of confusion, so we make a starfish image. Very good. Okay, that makes sense.
As the dust settled, a slow, deliberate clicking sound echoed from the shadows. The squirrel froze, one eye twitching as a pair of glowing green eyes emerged from the darkness, followed by the rest of a creature that looked like a crab had a baby with a spider and raised it on a diet of pure malice. It was a crustacean of immense size, its shell encrusted with barnacles and the occasional lost wedding ring, and it was holding a tiny, jagged piece of flint like a dagger. The squirrel, now fully aware that it was no longer the hunter, nor the hunted, but merely a snack with too much attitude, slowly raised a paw in what it hoped was a universal gesture of please don't eat me. I'm mostly just nerves and nuts. The crab spider thing tilted
accurate.
its head,
Oh, now it
mandibles
went
clicking in a
cartoonish.
rhythm that sounded suspiciously like laughter, and then did the unthinkable. It offered the squirrel a single, perfectly preserved acorn from a pocket in its shell. The squirrel stared at the acorn, then at the crab, then back at the acorn, processing the absurdity of this underground diplomacy. It was a trade of sorts. The squirrel's life for its favorite snack, delivered by a monster that had likely been waiting here for centuries, specifically for a moment like this. The air was thick with the scent of brine and old gold, and the tension was so palpable it could have been cut with a rusted cutlass lying nearby. With a grace that belied its earlier panic, the squirrel snatched the acorn and scrambled up the side of a gold ingot, using it as a ladder to escape the gaze of the crustacean overlord. It didn't look back, even as the crab spider thing began to click and whir.
I love how it just calls it crab spider thing. That's what this is. Crab spider thing.
The squirrel emerged from a narrow fissure in the sand, blinking in the harsh sunlight of the desert island, clutching the acorn to its chest like a holy relic. It stood there for a long moment, surrounded by palm trees and seagulls, before cracking the nut open.
The things we do to get our nut.
Deciding that the adventure had been worth it, even if it never fully understood what had just happened down there in the dark.
Okay, well, you know, it's a story about a squirrel. What else do you expect? I mean, technically, that worked. All right.
Special,
Yeah.
1998.
That was a thing. I want to tweak that some more. I feel like, so for what it's worth, right? That was something I had 3 years ago when I was running with it. But now that I can do more of the local stuff, I think I can improve at least the image generation of it, right? Like, I was generating the image based on each paragraph, but I think I've got enough room now to give it context to maybe generate better images that correspond with the rest of the story, right? Like, I still want the image capturing each paragraph, but I want it part of...
And now,
the theme of the story to carry along with it. Oh, hey, we got a Buddy versus Luna. What are they going to argue about tonight? The gender pay gap is a myth. All right, Droog, you asked for it.
The gender pay gap is clearly a myth because we both receive the exact same amount of premium salmon every evening.
That's only because Mr. K is too socially awkward to argue with Mrs. K about the grocery bill, not because it's fair.
Mrs. K is a genius chef who values my delicate palate, so she naturally spends more time crafting gourmet bites for me.
I eat whatever falls off the counter, which proves that in our house, appetite matters more than gender or salary.
My sophisticated taste commands respect, whereas you just inhale trash because your front paws are useless for holding a wallet.
At least I'm not scared of the vacuum like you are, which is the real reason you hide your assets under the bed.
I'm strategically conserving energy unlike you, who burns calories chasing laser dots while earning 0 treats.
I earn cuddles by being relaxed, something you could learn if you didn't demand a specific spot on the bed.
Fine, we agree that we are superior, but don't let it go to your head, you fluffy fool.
It is, and I can tune that a little bit. I do try to target it that they are cats at the end of the day, right?
That was Buddy versus Luna on the topic of the gender pay gap is a myth, submitted by Droog. If you didn't enjoy this, please blame Droog.
That's something I can always tweak, right? That's the prompt guiding it, and it's always tweakable. So as we do some of these things, Droog, I can always go back and tweak them. Like the story time, that's a lot of paragraphs, or not a lot of paragraphs necessarily, but a lot of sentences per paragraph, right? I do want Buddy versus Luna to be cat-centric, but maybe not as cat-centric, right? Because at the end of the day, it's Buddy and Luna. They are cats. They are our cats. And if I wanted a pure debate argument generator, we could do that. But you're right. It is very cat-centric. And they didn't talk a heck of a lot either. But as I've upgraded some of the machine stuff as well as the models, I've got enough room now to load up some of the larger models, and then that way can play around a little bit more, right? When the context was really, really low, because some of the models I had were, I had maybe 8K context, right? Which isn't a heck of a lot when you're trying to guide it with a prompt and then get some data back. It's not a heck of a lot. I can get bigger context now, so I can maybe open up the prompt a little bit more, right? And really try to guide it as opposed to the bare minimum. Of course, the idea of doing all of that now was that I can do it locally, right? None of that left my place. That data never went anywhere, and I didn't have to pay anything to do it. That's the nicer part about it all. So there's tweaking that goes along with that because I'm no longer using Frontier models. But that being said, these local models are better than the Frontier models we were doing this when we were doing it 3 years ago. Now, they're not better than the Frontier models now, but they're better than the Frontier models of 2-3 years ago when I first did this. So that's good from that standpoint, at least, right? Like, I can at least rework that, own that, really control it as mine, not have to pay, and really still get good output. It just takes a little bit more tweaking. Frontier, when we talk about Frontier models, we're talking about the cloud service models. You're talking about Opus, you're talking about GPT, you're talking about Gemini, you're talking about Grok, right? You're not running those locally, they're running in the cloud. So when we say Frontier models, that's what we mean. We don't have access to the models, we can't execute those ourselves because they're out there in the cloud running distributed across many, many boxes in the data centers. That's what we mean when we say Frontier models. Yeah, if you're in the industry, Oh, that's basically the term that gets thrown around. So when you hear frontier models, that means, you know, all your cloud AI services. Yes, right. As an end user, yep. Yep, you're using frontier models when you load up a web page to ChatGPT and all that stuff. That's the frontier model usage. Local is when you're doing the stuff I'm doing, right? So my local stuff is usually Qwen for the LLM and the voice generation, the voice cloning. And yeah, new voices because I can make those locally now. I used to go to 11 Labs for that. Now, it's not as good as 11 Labs, but it's free. And then the images, I believe I'm using ZImage Turbo just to quickly generate images around the paragraphs. No, frontier models are not dioramas of the Wild West. I know, but he's such a dork when it comes to just his personality. It may not do him justice, but he's a goofball. And I saw that one and I was like, oh, that just fits. He's just a goof. He's a cuddly, adorable goof. He doesn't come down here during streams, unlike this one. And she is very much hoity-toity. You know, the voice for her, that fits, right? Like, get away. I'll cuddle you on my own time. Where Buddy, you can go up to him and get cuddles and he'll gladly do it. But yeah, Luna, she's, well, actually, I think all you're going to get now is Luna butt. There you go. There's some sweet, sweet Luna fur. What she's doing right now is she's trying to get... She's trying to get up on the rack, and I had to put that styrofoam block there. It's just a piece of construction foam, not construction foam, but project foam board, because she keeps trying to jump up there if I didn't have it there. So that's why she kind of looks at it, and she looks underneath, and she's like, hey, I can see stuff underneath. I used to be able to jump up here. I kind of want to jump up there again. So that's why it says no Boonas, because her nickname is Luna Boona. So yeah, she doesn't like that little blocker there, but if I don't do that, then she crawls up on the damn thing, and I don't want her walking across the Nuck cluster and all the other stuff. Yeah, Luna, that one fit Luna, right? Slightly hoity-toity. Buddy, it just fit his dorkiness, his goofiness, because he's a ham. He's a ham. But he's really sweet and gentle, so we go with that for now. But yeah, there's definitely some tweaks we can make with the models. You, little miss, yeah, I know. He is the ghost in the machine. You're very popular. They love you. They love you out there. Hey, no bite. No bite. She wants to bite, and then she really just wants to lick. No bite. She gets aggressively cuddly. Anyhow, yeah, that's what frontier models are. So, let's see. Let's take a break and look at a demo here. Another one I had wrapped up here. Might be able to. With my main daily driver down, I still might be able to do a Commodore 64 game, so maybe we'll pick a game off the bucket list or see about adding another game to the bucket list and try some stuff out. Maybe we'll try Wavy Navy. Ooh, what about Wavy Navy? We're going to watch one demo, and then we'll try the Navy Wavy. Wavy Navy. Navy. This one is Nightfall 100% by Artlight Designs. See what this looks like. All right, this was from 2024. It's a single disc, and it's by the group Artline Designs. So here you go. Now, Reboot, are you talking Are you talking about the one that's not open weights? Are you talking 3.6 or 3.7 or whatever it is? Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, because you're right. Like, we've got to run the Quants version, so I've got... What am I running these with? I don't remember what models I'm using for the... For the Buddy versus Luna. In general, I run 3.6 27B Q8. That's generally the one I run. Oh, what is going on here? Scary Mickey Mouse. No, Drew, it's the same thing that, it's just the years. That's what they do. What is going on here? Give me local or give me death, right, Reboot? This is a little scary. This is dark. Oh, that's nice and smooth. That's okay, Drew. As I've said when you say that, neither do I. So this was made in 2024, but it runs on the Commodore 64. But this one in particular was made a couple years ago. So it is retro. Not as many because people have learned over the years all these other tricks that you can do on that 8-bit machine that they didn't know back then. People are still discovering neat and cool things you can do with it. So back in the 90s and things like that, you will have some demos that poke, that basically just brush lightly against all of the dazzle and wonder that we see in the demos made today. But as a cohesive thing, not as many, right? They're getting a lot better as time goes on. This is called the demo scene community. This in particular, it would be the demo scene community. SCENE. A scener would be someone who is a demo scener would be someone who makes demos or, you know, is into that type of stuff. I'm just a passenger stopping by on the demo train to look at things now and then. I don't make them myself. Yeah, demo scene, exactly. Maliveretti. Oh, queued up a retro story. Oh, I don't know what the retro story generator is going to do this. Oh, and it's generating, it picked the keyword idiotic. Oh gosh, I don't know what's going to happen here. In the format of a breakup letter. This is going to be weird. Maliveretti, welcome. Happy Friday to you, sir. Yeah, I always look at these things as, honestly, for the Commodore 64, you're going to have so many out there. I look at these as music videos, just made on a computer, right? Doing some flashy lights and graphics and visuals with some music. That is CPU usage of the emulator. This is running on a Raspberry Pi. So yeah, that's basically the CPU usage effectively. Happy Friday, Maliveretti. But I could take this and I could go over to that Commodore 64 that you see in the dungeon view and we could run that demo there. No, I don't run it on a real one because I want to remotely control the emulator. So I can stop and play this at any time and actually automate that and have these play as like playlists like Spotify. I could totally do that with these. That would be hard to do on a real Commodore. Because I can now make, we've curated enough, I can make like a whole music channel of demos running and playlists and things like that. To do that, I need to be able to control the emulator that's emulating the C64. But individually, I could run one of these on the old Commodore. Now with the C64U, the remake of the Commodore they just released this last year, I could still kind of do this. I could remotely control that and have it run on a Commodore, but the C64U is still itself not the old exact Commodore. I get what you're saying, right? Yeah, it's not exactly a Commodore, but the fact that this was written for that platform is really the key driver of it. And yeah, it's very much like MTV. And Mountain Stars is right. PC demo scene was pretty big in the 90s too. Yep. I don't have any PC demos, but part of the reason of having this thing was that on the Pi, I can run Amiga demos, I can run C64 demos, I can run PC demos with DOSBox. All on that little Raspberry Pi and curate them and script them out so that we can watch one at any time. And it just all is automated. That was the goal of that demo launcher. Oh gosh, here we have our retro story. Stay forever. I need to turn off my... I need to cancel the demo here. All right, we're on the Spectrum again. Oh, a breakup letter in the idiotic genre. It picked that randomly. Make intro story to demo scenes, specifically Commodore 64. For those not in the know, I have no idea what this is going to be like. This is going to be weird.
Trading my beige shell for sanity by Maliveretti. Dearest C64, we need to talk. It's not you, or well, it is, but mostly it's the fact that you scream at me in a voice that sounds like a dying fax machine every time I try to boot up your latest party demo. I remember when we were young, back when 64K bytes of RAM felt like an ocean of possibility, and we'd spend nights huddled around your beige plastic shell, mesmerized by a single colored square bouncing off the screen edges. We thought that was high art. We thought the rhythmic blip-blop-bloop of a SID chip was the symphony of the gods, not the auditory equivalent of a cat walking on a keyboard.
Wow, harsh.
But then came the Demosceners, those madmen who decided that less is more meant crashed the system to make a point. I watched in horror as you were forced to squeeze a scrolling text line into less than 4 bytes of code, a feat of engineering so dense it defied the laws of physics and common sense. They called it intros, these tiny stupid programs that did nothing but flash a logo and play a 3-second tune before vanishing into the void. I asked you, why do we need this? What is the purpose? And you just stared at me with your cold, unblinking monitor eye, humming that same irritating 1 megahertz clock cycle.
Okay, I take it back. I like this. This is cute.
I tried to understand. Really, I did. I learned about rasters, a word that meant nothing to me but everything to them, and how they could change the color of a single line of pixels in real time to create the illusion of smooth gradients on a machine that technically only had 25 colors. I watched as artists painted masterpieces using less memory than a modern SMS text message, turning technical limitations into aesthetic virtues. It was like watching someone build a cathedral out of chewing gum and spit, and then expecting me to weep with joy because the gum didn't stick to the floor. Then came the music, the chiptunes, that sounded like a robot having a seizure in a tin can. The composers would brag about their tracker skills, layering waveforms with a precision that was technically impressive but emotionally barren. I'd sit there, head throbbing, waiting for a melody that never came, just endless, repetitive arpeggios that drilled into my skull like a dentist's drill on a nerve. They called it groove. I called it tinnitus. And every time a new demo dropped, I'd hear the same 4 notes, slightly faster, slightly louder, until my sanity began to fray at the edges like a frayed audio cable. The final straw was the cracktro, those intro sequences that were longer than the actual software they preceded, filled with flashing text that said things like salute to all friends and dead to all enemies. I sat there for 20 minutes watching a list of names scroll past, wondering who these enemies were and why a computer needed to keep score of human rivalries. It was petty, it was loud, and it was utterly devoid of utility. You were a machine designed to calculate, to create, to entertain, and instead you had become a digital billboard for teenage ego and byte-counting bragging rights. So
whoa, that's a weird image.
Formatted and blank, ready to be overwritten by something sensible like a spreadsheet or a word processor. I'm trading you in for a machine that doesn't demand a blood sacrifice of RAM just to display a rotating cube. Goodbye, old friend. May your SID chip rest in peace, and may your next owner be braver, younger, and slightly more insane than I was. Don't wait up. The power cord is already unplugged.
Yep, that's a cable loop and a half. I'm not sure what's going on there either. All right, that was actually, you know what? I liked that. So, Droog, for what it's worth, part of what we're doing here when not we're doing necessarily, the demo sceners, right? Part of this is, well, that's not going to go anywhere. Part of it is the C64 chips and how they act are fairly well known, right? From the standpoint of you can study the chips. There's 64K of RAM, input and output devices write directly to RAM. There's a lot you can do with that isn't as complex as something with an operating system with, protected mode and kernel levels and all sorts of stuff, right? So you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And there's still the interesting parts about it are things like the raster. Right? It talked about rasters in there. And there's a book called Racing the Beam, which goes into that in a lot more detail, and I've not fully read it at all. But if you think of it, a lot of these demos are really trying to tinker with the limitations of the machine to extend it as much as possible to do things that people didn't think would be possible. So when you have the raster line, think of it like for PAL, it's like what 50 hertz, right? So that your screen refreshes 50 times per second, and what that's doing is there's a line called the raster line, which is drawing each line, right? And it's doing a whole screen's worth 50 times every second. With the timing of that, you can actually do some interesting things with the memory with your demo, depending on where the raster line is, to force some animations to go one way or the other. I don't understand it technically well myself, but it's all about even just the timing of that raster line, of how they're able to do certain things that they're able to do, that in the old days of those games being made, a lot of them didn't take advantage of that. That wasn't really what they're trying to do. And even the first demos, like I said, those demos teased, they just brushed against what some of those things can do. But over the years, like in the late 2000s, or more in the 2000s, the 2020s here, right? We're seeing them take all those very cool things that you could just kind of a whisper of brilliance there, right? And then tying them all into these extravagant, multi-scene, thematic demos with all these nooks and crannies that have been learned over the years to create some really beautiful pieces of art, right? MTV style music video art. So that's what I appreciate about them. They are their own thing, but there's something pretty special in my mind. Yeah, cool. I just like to look at what people are making today on that old box. And there's even old games, or there's new games being made for that old platform too on itch.io. There's new 64 games being made all the time. They're out there. I don't have any of them on my bucket list, but I'm sure I'll go through there at some point and add them. But right now we've got Wavy Navy to look at. So let's go over to the game cartridge. Let us set the current game to Wavy Navy. That's number 20. So we are going to do this guy, Wavy Navy. Droog, you brought this one up a while back. You are more than welcome to intro this, your story behind Wavy Navy, because you're the one that brought this up for me to put it on my list. I'd never even heard of the game before. So you're more than welcome to share your experience with it. We're going to give it a shot here, and we'll see what it's like. Now, that was game 20. I put it on the wrong thing. I got to clear the floater. There we go. There's the floater. So this is Wavy Navy from 1983. And this is one of Droog's that he remembered as a kid. So when he moved from Georgia to Ohio in 6th grade, okay. Introduced to new and better things, the Georgia educational system not being the best. First day in pre-algebra. Told by the teacher, if you get all your stuff done, you can play the games. I got to make room for the games. I got to bring the keyboard out here. All right. Microphone piece. There's this piece. Got to bring out the joystick. Don't look at the cable. You cannot eat it. After you finish your work, you can play on the computers. We have one called Wavy Navy. The next opportunity, I was on those computers cranking up some Wavy Navy. This YouTube channel, Lift Cryo. Keep raising the bar on C64 creativity every next vid example. Making 8-bit music from scratch to the Commodore Basic. Oh, very cool. I will have to check that out. Teacher scolded me. She lied. Luna, can you believe this? You started to boot it, and you weren't allowed to play? You said no? Hit you with a ruler? Back to your seat, little Droog? Or how did the voice clone go? Droog. No Wavy Navy for you. Well, damn it, we're going to have Wavy Navy now. Okay. Retrofeed picked up the HDMI change. So were you able to play it at all, Droog, or was it pretty much no, not at all? Right, we're going to do Wavy Navy. Ready. Yeah, I don't have any off of itch.io yet. More than a minute. Not more than a minute. Well, let's check out Wavy Navy now. Now, I don't have my game base up, so because that's on the driver that computer's dead. So hopefully there might be some instructions on how to play this darn thing. I have no idea. So let's look at version info real quick. Let's see. Let's do the dungeon retro feed. We can put that on me. There we go. Published 1983, Serious Software. Shoot 'em up Space Invaders, joystick port 2. There is a crack in a trainer. Okay. All right. Well, let's give it a shot. Wavy Navy and play. Load that Wavy Navy. That looks like a pretty Wavy Navy right there. I'm not detecting any sound yet, so let's see if I have to hit fire. No. How about space? Okay. Spacebar to read or run stop to start. You don't think there was sound? Okay, fair enough. Why me, I thought, as I staggered to the deck. My PT boat was being tossed about the ocean by a 30-foot wave. By 30-foot waves. The sky was filled with a squadron of enemy bombers and kamikaze fighters. They were backed by helicopters with blazing machine guns. I raced to the gun and started blasting. I was scoring some impressive hits and beginning to feel in control when I noticed that the sea around me was loaded with mines. Oh, great. And what was that screaming toward me on the horizon? An Exocet missile. My heart was pounding as I tried to decide how to get out of this fix. I had to act quickly. Immediately, I jerked the joystick to the starboard while keeping my hand on the fire button. Ha ha! You missed me! Whew, that was close. I took a deep breath, wiped my brow, and thought to myself, wow, sometimes it is hard to believe Wavy Navy is just a video game. Yeah, there is, we'll see if there's sound like, who hasn't jerked their joystick? All right, let's see. Run stop. Should get some joystick port 2 instead of port 1. Well, yeah, you said port 2, so I put it in port 2. High score saver or trainer? We'll go high score saver. Load or reset high score? Reset, because there are none. All right. Sirius presents. I'm going to guess Wavy Navy, maybe. Waiting for that. As a kid, right? You're like, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. And you just get barely through the intro screen. And Droog is told, no. Get out of here, kid. I lied, the teacher said. Okay. Player 1. Hey, look, it's kind of smooth. I'm going over the waves. All right. Yep, I'm player 1. You can, oh. All right, very Space Invaders-y. Dive bombs. Oh, okay. Stay away from them when they dive bomb.
Head incoming in 60 seconds.
Okay. There's helicopters up above. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know if I can be near the shrapnel. So we have a little bit of a Galaga type bit here where they'll come out. Can I go near the shrapnel? I can. It seems like I can go near the shrapnel. Just in case, from the standpoint of I wasn't sure if that was going to be a collision, right? Oh, if you touch the shrapnel, you also die. Okay, Wavy Navy. You have been promoted to Boatswain. Boatswain. There's probably a better way to say that than I am. All right. So this is Wavy Navy, people. It's very much a Space Invaders. Oh, what is that thing? What is that thing in the water? Oh, that's a mine. That's the mines. Okay. I'm supposed to not go near the mines, right? So I'm guessing you don't want to be at the level of the mines. You are then forced to stay at that level. Yep. Very good. This is not a bad little game. I could totally be into this as a kid. This is great. Oof. All right. Yeah, sure. Good vibes. Can I shoot the bombs? I don't know. I don't think I hit the bomb. But I can't go near the mine, right? So I've got to wait. Now I'm a cook. Can I hold down the button? Oh, no, you can't. You got to keep clicking. Oh, now, okay, we're different now. Now the waves are moving, right? I am moving. Oh, it's slowed. Wow, it's really slowed. Very slowed down when all those bombs drop. Can't shoot the bombs, so we can see that. I shot right through one. But man, you can feel the pain of the CPU on the full bomb drops. And that's kind of tough to dodge if you want to be able to get through all of an entire spread. So it really behooves you to try to get through that before it spreads across the screen. Oh, now now we've got the helicopters. They come down. They totally start firing at you. Back in '86, they asked, can I play with you? Damn right. Oh, yep. So if you can't get that jet before he drops all the bombs, you pretty much have to work your way through it. Okay, so the helicopter's up now. He's going to start firing out at me. Yep, couldn't dodge the bombs and him. Helicopters are very much a get them while you can. I cannot easily move left because the waves are moving to the right. So that slows down. That slows down how far you can move back. All right, so the progressive difficulty adds motion to the waves, making it a very wavy navy. I don't know. Let's see. If I go all the way to the edge, which way are the waves going to move this time? Oh, now they move to the right. So I'm pushing right, and it goes nowhere. And if I let it go, it moves me that way. So really, all I can do is stop, and then let the wave carry me, or go to the left. I cannot move to the right directly. I basically have to stop and follow the wave. The mine went right into the mine. I knew that was going to happen. And now we have horizontal missiles coming. So the game does a good job of adding progressively more difficult elements to it. Now my finger's getting very tired. I need an auto fire at my age. Right? So you want to make sure that you pause yourself. Whoa, 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 whoa. You pause yourself at the top of a wave when you're going to come by the mine because you don't want to be at the low point. There's a lot to juggle on this. There is quite a bit to juggle on this. Oh, Nelly. All right, now we are very much... They brought a couple more out. All right, what's next? Whoa! Oh, that was right at the edge of the screen, right? That kind of... So you don't die if you go to the screen edge. It just makes you move. It just makes you move with it. Now I'm crew chief. Okay. Kind of the tune there. Life is but a dream. It was kind of there. Maybe a little off. Is there an auto fire? Is that an option on the C64U? I need to talk like a pirate. Oh, don't make me do voices again. You guys are killing me. Is there an auto fire? I don't think there's an auto fire action. Retro Interocitor! Yar! Thank you. Welcome. Welcome, Retro Interocitor. Just chilling out here on the Friday. I was wondering if there was an auto fire for the joystick on this, and it doesn't look like there is built into the C64U. And of course, this is actually a good game. This is totally a nice little self-enclosed Galaga Space Invaders inspired clone. This is totally a good shoot 'em up game. A few spots where it gets a little slow, right? But otherwise, what a good game. What a nice little game. But I do need some auto fire action. I am feeling the age in the hands, right? Clicking, click, 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 click. I can't do that for hours on end. So I do kind of wonder if this joystick wouldn't be better, because this one has... This is the one that came with the C64U. There are these two little knobs here at the top. It's hard to see. I can press one, I can depress them, and I wonder if that's like an auto fire toggle. I actually do kind of want to try that because my hand gets a little tired on this. So I'm going to disconnect the Epix, although my favorite joystick, I don't have an auto fire on that. At least I don't think there's a switch or anything on the Epix that turns it auto fire. No, it's just your stick. There might be a mod or something. Let me try this real quick and see if auto fire is cheating. It is. It is cheating. I'm okay with that. Primarily because, yep, that's what that button does. It controls auto fire. I'm getting a hand cramp. So when it comes to hand cramps, I'm okay with a little cheating. Wow, there's a lot going on in this. All right, let's give it another shot here. Jeez. At least my hand is feeling a little bit better. Oh boy! Oh! You are so. If a missile comes at you like that and you're stuck on the wave, you're basically dead because you can't get high to get around it because you're at the crest of the wave. So really, a good strategy there is to basically stay in the middle of the waves as much as you can. The mines won't hit you, and if a missile comes, you can still get duck below or higher. Then my fleet has been sunk. Oh geez, I'm sorry. I switch it back. Yeah. Show us the game. Don't show us talking about... Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. There we go. Sorry, Retro. Thank you for letting me know there that I wasn't doing anything. Thank you, Droag. Droag, as the LLMs say. All right, so this is most likely level 1. We got a top score of 3770. Let's see if we can beat this. So the first one starts out very Galaga-like, very Space Invaders-like, right? Nothing terribly crazy. A couple bombers that dive down, right? The helicopters may come down, but you can take them out. So deceptively simple first round. You can avoid them. He's going to fire. Oh, okay, I got hit that time. The helicopters are still a threat early on in the game. You really do want to take those out if they drop down, because they are going to fire the machine gun blasts at you, which will target your position. The rest of the stuff you can kind of avoid. Yeah, I don't have death counters on this. Maybe I should add death counters or something at some point. I've never really done that on streams with any great consistency. All right. So there's your first round. Arr. Arr. Yarr. All right, so now we have our first mine in the water, right? So that yellow piece, that yellow mine, I can't go at the very bottom of the wave when that mine comes by. When you do, that happens. That was me just showing you what happens when you hit a mine. I totally was just demonstrating what that was, not accidentally going into it, right? So you've got to be careful. Oh, I'm doing worse this time around. I'm doing worse this time around. I was actually doing better the very first time I played. I'm trying to be sneaky now, right? All right, so the helicopter's out. If you hide behind the wave, oh, once again, right? The helicopters, you want to get them as soon as possible. My fleet's already been sunk. 780 versus 3770. Whew, that was rough. I'm going to give it one more shot, and then we'll call the high score 3770 for the day. But all in all, just nothing. For what this game is at the time, this is a great game. Great game. Simple Galaga-style Space Invaders with a lot of extra elements that get added. As the waves progress, the motion of the waves adds some things to it, right? You can go one direction easier than you can another. Really a nice little game. Drew, you picked a good one, and unfortunately you weren't able to experience it as a kid. But totally can play it online now, right? In your browser, most likely. Totally a worthwhile game. I definitely recommend Autofire to save your hand, but robbed of joy then, but that's why we do the retro stuff. You can reclaim it now. And it's there for you. Got to avoid the mine and the kamikaze pilots. Auto fire's a little not so solid right here. Oh, the helicopter can crash. Okay, so if you make the helicopter go down enough, it can crash, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Of course, a replacement helicopter came in at the top there, so I got to keep an eye on him. Oh, here comes another helicopter. Okay. Getting seasick, a little Dramamine. I don't think there's a Dramamine button in here, unfortunately. Yeah, the waves do make it difficult. That's a great addition. That's really a great addition. All right, you're gonna... I don't want to hit the mine, so we're just gonna catch the wave. All right, very good. I'm now a cook again. It's close enough. There's like an extra note at the end that I was not expecting. All right, so I can't move to the left at all. The waves are so fast that you... Oh, that's a rough one to get through. You have to time it where it hits the waves. The long missiles across, right? So every little addition they make, every little new difficulty piece, you've got to be ready for. And be able to dodge as best as you can. But it's a lot easier now to move to the right than it is to the left. Oh, nope. Nope, knew I was going to get hit by that one. Ah, the waves are nice and still. Look at that. I can just go back and forth and oh, crap, now they're not. Yeah, you got to thread that needle between the bombs. Oh, I should have had that. I should have had... Now I can't... Oh! Oof. Okay. Oh. Couldn't thread it all the time. My fleet has been sunk. I have a feeling. Or it's just going to keep... All right. Ooh, that's hard to thread, especially when the waves are moving and you can't move to the left easily. That becomes a lot harder to thread. You can't shoot the bombs, so you pretty much just have to avoid. So he's going to die because the helicopter hits the waves. So that's a thing you can do. If you can make the helicopters hit the waves, then you at least get kind of a reprieve. You still get a helicopter at the top, but you get a slight bit of a reprieve, and I hit the mine again. Womp, womp, womp. My fleet is not doing too hot. There is a lot going on. It does get tough. War is heck. It's very true. War is heck for the deckhand. It's heck hand. War. War is heck. Missiles now start flying horizontally. See, that's where you get screwed, right? I couldn't move anymore to the left to get around it. I should have just kept going out to the right to go below it, but I couldn't move above, right? So it's like middle. Middle's not bad. Okay. Oy, oy, oy. There we go. Got the helicopter. There's another helicopter coming down, but I'm going to miss him. Yep. I was trying to get over to shoot him, but with the wave moving to the right, you can't move to the left fast enough, and he can just totally snipe you from the top. So you got to keep an eye out for that. My fleet has been sunk. All right. That's Wavy Navy, and 3770 is my high score on that. So I'm going to mark that off. What a great little game. I can't show the screen at the moment, but I'm going to give it a little bit of an edit here. So Wavy Navy. We played that on the C64. And I'd say completed from the standpoint of, it's not like there's a story to finish there, right? But I'm giving that a 5. I'm giving that a 5. Thank you, Malvaretti. You can move on, Drew, and you can still play it yourself. Hey! Reboot, thank you very much for the bits. On Triple F, thank you for the clip.
Electrons flow, but my 1541 so gosh darn slow. I idle my 64, my Commodore 64.
Thank you, Reboot.
In a world of fun and fantasy and ever-changing views and computer terminology, Commodore is news. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Now, later on in that specific song, during the last bit of the chorus, there's very much a "hey" scream that happens in there. It's humorous. I don't know why that got in there, but it's there. But I did. Thank you very much, Reboot, for the biddies. And thank you for the clip, Triple F. What a great little game. 3770 is our high score. So, a wonderful little shoot 'em up time capsule mixing Galaga, Space Invaders, and I'll say like a little bit of a Moon Patrol vibe, right? Because the waves, right? Moon Patrol, you had things you had to kind of navigate around. Why not, right? Farmers only ad? For the Commodore? Or what am I thinking? Farmers only? I'm not sure. Are you talking for the Commodore 64 commercial? Let me finish up the review here. So a wonderful little shoot 'em up time capsule mixing Galaga. Or should I say Galaxian? I don't remember the difference between the two. Space Invaders and Moon Patrol vibes. While Droog wasn't able to actually play this game in his youth. He remembered it as something he always wanted to at least play or see played. We fulfilled that wish for our wonderful Droog on 7/10/2026. Wavy Navy, everybody. Totally doable. Great little game. Yeah, let's see. Could I do that? Yeah, I could build a channel for high scores on things. Yeah, if we could say like take a screenshot, see if you can beat the high score. Yeah, we could totally do that. Yeah, I'll make one on there this weekend. So Wavy Navy would be totally accessible for anybody. With the Vice Simulator, I'm sure that you could probably play this online in a browser somewhere, but the game-based 64 library is totally out there on the Internet Archive. Very accessible game. So, Drew, thank you very much for bringing this up. Sorry about not being able to play as a kid, right? The anticipation of that. Oh, man, I'm going to play Wavy Navy. And then have it just snatched from you. So unfortunate, but you can play it now. And you can see it's a great little game. We made it up to crew chief. So I did not make it to gunner. About halfway there. And there's 4 players capable, right? So I don't know how well this would play over something like Parsec. I have a feeling that might not play that well. That's one of the things that Adam, who's currently traveling, we've talked about doing that a couple of times, so maybe parsecing games. That's doable for games that require like typing, right? Like you're going to do a type in an answer, but when it comes to action, that might not work out too well. Oh, in your head like Farmers Only. Oh, yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, the goal with that was, we only have the 2 C64 commercials with lyrics, right? And 86 Carrera, when he came up here and he heard that, and the first day that we were just breaking down the entire C64 streamer, right? 8 things queued up in a row. And finally, one of them broke. The first day it broke, right? Yeah, I could tell. Like, hearing the jingle, when I first made the C64 streamer piece, hearing the jingle once or twice, oh, okay, hey, cool. And then when you, wonderful, wonderful, evil people made it happen for like 8 times in a row, it was like, oh yeah, it gets right in your skull. So we've got now 20 to 30 variations at least generated. And that helps break the monotony up, right? Because at least you get a different version of the tune and it won't be as repetitive. At least I hope it's not, because that was the goal, to not make it so repetitive for you. That at least the tune behind it, the music behind it, the beats would be a little bit different. The Farmers Only dating site. That might be different. Maybe multiplayer. Yeah, if I might have to try that sometime with Adam, because I know he and I have gotten Parsec working before. I do wonder Like, wouldn't I have the inherent advantage, though? Like, we can't parsec on the C64U, but I could totally put that on that little machine. I feel like that might be rough. Like, my response time would be inherently... It's not like these games would have... What do they call that? Rollback netcode, right? Unless a game's specifically created with that, you wouldn't get that capability to say, oh, we could roll it back because of the inherent delay with one player from another. Oh, thank you for the giant hoe. Yeah, Wavy Navy. Very good. Very good. I can't look up anything online and share that right now with my main driver down, so it is part of the magic, but man, you'd be basically, I'd have the advantage to every single game. Don't need to be lonely with farmersonly.com. I will have to look some of these up. I can't view and share anything on the browsers now with the daily driver machine down, but I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah, very good. All right, so there was the C64 Ultimate. Wavy Navy is now marked on the bucket list as considering it completed. There's, like I said, there's not a storyline there, but we've played it, we've done it, and awesome. Awesome. Let me see here. Wavy Navy. Make sure that took. Yep. Completed. 5 stars. 5 stars for a wonderful little shooter. Okay. Is my laptop still... Yeah, still got some juice left. What a crap show of a week when you've got computers dying. You could both play remotely and then on your network just slow down your own connection speed to the gaming machine. Might have to do something like that, right? Like how do you get that in there if the game isn't inherently built to be that way? Maybe we'll try it sometime. Maybe we'll try that. Because I used Parsec extensively when we played Panzer's East. So some of you guys weren't here then. But my dad and I played Avalon Hill's Panzer's East, which was a Commodore 64 strategy game. And we played the crap out of that when I was a kid. And we played it again about 4 years ago or so. And we used Parsec. So I showed him how to use Parsec to log into my machine. And he could type and I could type against the same Vice emulator. And it works great because it's a typing game. You're giving commands, right? It's turn-based. There's no action with it. Worked beautifully for that. And you got to think of it like my dad's now in his 70s, right? So you got this at the time 73-year-old guy loading up Parsec, logging in, remote controlling into a machine, and then playing Panzer's East, talking on streams and stuff like that, right? Those were some really good, fun streams. But yeah, Parsec made that possible for him and I to play a Commodore 64 game completely apart that we played back in the day in the computer room, which is what that diorama represents, that computer room. That could be interesting too, Malavaretti. Yeah, either I do it remotely and there's something that takes it into account. Maybe Parsec does in some way. Maybe there's a way to do that within Parsec, some sort of inherent delay, or something like Malavaretti is saying. Maybe it's hosted on an archive. Maybe. Yeah, there's probably some ways to try that out. I would look that up, but I have no active browser that I can share at the moment. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Definitely something to keep in mind. Good ideas here. Good ideas. So what do I need to fix? Well, I need to fix that machine. Let's see, do I have it? Does it actually boot up yet? Let me bring over the HDMI back to the Windows box and see what I get. Oh, man. I'm going to have to reinstall Windows. Gosh, that's exciting. Oh, and it's your main daily driver, right? So it's like just annoying having to reset up the programs you use and haven't used in a while and be like, oh, God, I got to re-register that key. Where's the key? Oh, that one has a software deactivation that I couldn't do because the machine died, so I got to go through all that crap. Like, that's going to be annoying. It's going to be very annoying. All right, can I go back over to the other input? We are not going to stream that. There's no reason. No. No, no, no. Yeah, because I was hoping to show for the next stream, hopefully, if I get this thing rebuilt enough, I was going to use the local Qwen model. So I run 3.6 27B Q8 with a 256K context specifically for coding coding sessions, not for like normal chat stuff for the stream. I don't need that power for it. But that was specifically set up that way so that I could run OpenCode as a harness in lieu of Claude Code, right? Because I wanted to start testing OpenCode to see if I could get enough bang for the buck out of it. Yeah, and it could just be an OS level install where I'm just reinstalling onto basically the Windows system piece. I'm not going to wipe the drive. The data, at least I think the drive's okay. I'm not sure why it went into automated repair today. So the one upstairs, the drive is going. So that one's going to be a fresh reinstall. The CMOS, every time it boots and the BIOS comes up, half the time it's not recognizing the drive anymore. Okay, yep, it's the drive. I don't know what it is on the daily driver. But yeah, I was going to run OpenCode as a harness in lieu of Claude Code and to see if we could convert the BASIC to machine language and start trying that. As well as maybe, could I use Qwen 27B as a daily driver for development work? Like can I give it access to things like my Kubernetes manifests, right? Would it know well enough to manage those, help me manage those? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Don't know about Linux, but Windows, just remove hardware-specific softs and plug in the new host rig. Yeah, all apps in place, only drivers. Yeah. Yeah, it's very much going to depend on what I think actually ended up dying on here. But I tried to do a restore point, and now it kind of just sits there. I'm not getting any video output from it either. I might have to restart it. I don't know. It's going to be a headache. Headache. Well, peeps, I think that'll probably wind me down for the night. I don't know if there's anybody on that we would want to send some stuff over to. If there's anybody that has a recommendation for a stream, we could send somebody over. If somebody else is doing any Commodore stuff, we could do that.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore?
Probably do a couple more demos. Oh, hey, Triple F with the biddies. Thank you.
In a world of high technology and ever-changing moods.
Here we'll hit the later part of the song.
And changing attitudes. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? Because the Commodore's keeping up with you. Ow!
Yeah. Ow! That ow is so out of place.
Keeping up with you.
In a world of fun and fantasy and ever-changing views.
Thank you very much for the biddies, Triple F.
Terminology. Commodore is news. Are you keeping up with the Commodore?
That was my attempt at Depeche Mode. Comes across a little bit Depeche Mode and Rammstein. But hey, you know what? It works well enough. because we are trying to keep up with the Commodore. Farticus. Farticus, eh? Have you, you could throw it over to Farticus. I've never seen Farticus. Let me take a look here real quick. See what Farticus is up to. I'd like to send it over to somebody doing some retro stuff. That might not be bad. Throw it over to somebody. Seems to be playing the game okay. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. I haven't I just wanted to check them out a little bit here too, make sure, like, you know, not somebody doing anything crazy. So I don't have any, this is off of Malvaretti's recommendation, so I've not seen Farticus, but we'll hang out there a little bit and carry on with our evening. Let me shut down the C64 here. Let me bring it over, actually, let me bring it over to the main screen. And I'll say our goodnights. We'll do our credits, and then I will raid over to, not Spartacus, but Farticus. All right, where do I go back to my main screen? Here we go. All right, so FaceTime PTZ. All right, full single source. What am I going to say goodbye in a Commodore? Let's say goodbye while I'm trapped inside of a Commodore computer. All right. Well, that was fun. Wavy Navy. Saw some demos. Good times. Thank you very much for the contributions and the biddies and for hanging out. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Have a better weekend than me because I'm going to be stuck rebuilding PCs and working. All right. We will roll the credits. I am in a box. I'm trapped. Just trapped. I can't break out. The Commodore is keeping me trapped. Thank you, Malvaretti. All right, you have been a wonderful audience. I have been Mr. Christoph. Have a good weekend, everybody.
A hot shower might help that, son.
Yeah. I think I might cool it with the stream for a while.
Good. I think you've been overdoing it.
We will do the raid at the end of the credits.
One of the big guys.
Trust me, it's all relative.
Thank you, Reboot.
There'll always be someone bigger than you are. Someone stronger, or better looking, or smarter.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Live streaming? Does it make you feel special?
Well, yeah, if I'm being honest, it does.
You're growing up. Point is that you don't look to other people for your self-esteem. You can earn respect from other people, even admiration and praise, but it won't mean anything to you if you don't.
And I saw some things come up in Discord. I will check those out this weekend. I just,
Good night,
stupid
buddy.
computer.
Good night, Dad.
Puppet Pile, J Pones, Tower, Triple F, Commodore Chronicles, Big Time, Big Boy, Mountain Stars, Reboot. Yes, Droogie Hauser. Any Donut, Droog. Thank you all for joining tonight. Malvaretti, Retro Interocitor. Good to see you all. Thank you for the bits, Triple F and Reboot. Channel Point Redemption's here. Triple F checking in on the C64. Smith Mule. We are just raiding out, but not bad to be trapped in a C64, right? Drew did a Buddy versus Luna tonight. That was good. Did a couple retro stories. End stream. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're going to send it over to Spartacus. Take care, everyone.